Well, speak of the devil. Just 3 weeks after I reviewed Northeast last STEN, we now have Northeast first Uzi. First, a bit of background information. The Uzi submachine gun is easily one of the most iconic weapons of all time. Designed by Major Uzi Ogal after the first Arab-Israeli War and introduced in 1954, the Uzi was a cheap and reliable Israeli submachine gun ideal for a new nation under constant siege. In fact, Major Gall didn't actually want the weapon to be named after him, but guess what? His request was promptly ignored. The result was a wildly popular Cold War submachine gun with over 10 million Uzis manufactured and exported to over 90 countries, with numerous compact variants that quickly became cultural icons. In Airsoft, however, the Uzi has been conspicuously absent for a gun featured in so many movies, with only KWC making a plastic CO2 version, which ArcLight reviewed 12 years ago. But not anymore. Northeast are back with an absolute banger of a gun, with the first ever full metal GBB Airsoft Uzi ever made. This variant is the MP2A1, used by the German Armed Forces, also known as the Bundeswehr, which adopted the Uzi in 1959 as a PDW for tank crews until its official replacement by the MP7 in 2007. Now, just to note that while this particular variant of the Uzi is called the MP2A1, we'll be referring to this as an Uzi for the sake of brevity. As such, this gun has full period connect Bundeswehr and IMI markings on the side over here, but the specifics don't really end there, as this MP2A1 also has an enlarged bolt handle and unique safety feature not found on other Uzis, where you cannot actually rack the bolt when the safety is actually on, which vastly reduces the chance of a negligent discharge like with other open bolt guns like the STEN. Externally, the Northeast Uzi is of a quality we've come to expect from Northeast. Bloody amazing. Using the office motor of truth, we can clearly see that every single exposed metal part on this Uzi is made of full steel with a nice realistic parkerized finish. Even the polymer handguard and grip is made out of this sort of smooth, cheap plastic that you would have actually seen in the 1960s. Starting from the front, we have just under the barrel a bayonet mount. Not sure where you're going to find one, but if you do happen to have an Uzi bayonet, this gun has you covered. On the top, however, we have the aforementioned extra large charging handle with a nice grippy texture, perfect for using with gloves. Towards the back, we have some pretty decent adjustable flip-up iron sights, ranged in both 100 and 200 meters. The gun also has 2 sling points over here and here, perfect for standard 2-point sling. Now over to the rear, we have the foldable buttstock. In order to use it, pull the bottom out and then pull it back to extend it. And if you want to fold it back, push the button on the back over here to start folding the rear side, and then pinch the hinge in order to fold it back and then shove it straight back in. Now down over here on the left side, we have a 3-position fire selector, which can be a little stiff. They go from Sicher or safe to Eisenfeuer, single fire, and then to Dauerfire or continuous fire. Apologies for my terrible German. Further down, we have the trigger and the grip safety. The grip safety is such that if it is not being held sufficiently tight enough, the gun would not fire. So, no bump firing. Not that you would want to anyway. The trigger though is pretty basic, with a rather light sort of take up and a slightly mushy wall. It's not competition grade, but it's also what you expect from an open bolt Cold War era gun. The Uzi's magazine is yet again full steel and holds 32 rounds just like the real thing. Northeast Uzi's magazine is actually remarkably improved over the STEN, as to enable or disable dry firing, you only need to flip this little switch instead of disassembling the whole magazine like was on the STEN. The switch though is actually pretty stiff, so I recommend you use a flathead screwdriver to gently lever over to the other side so that the bolt stop pops up. Now the Uzi's hopper adjustment takes a bit of effort, but it is easier than the STEN's. First, hold the barrel retaining catch down over here and unscrew the barrel nut like so in order to remove the entire outer barrel to adjust the hop-up dial, which is located next to the chamber. In order to go and put the barrel back, do the reverse as said previously, but make sure the barrel is facing the right way and that the barrel nut is fully screwed in, else you may encounter feeding issues. This is a bit of a bother, but frankly, I just don't see any other way this could have been done without compromising the Uzi's incredible external realism. So I'll give it a pass. Ergonomically, the Uzi has an extremely balanced weight distribution, thanks to its innovative telescoping bolt design that allows the Uzi's magazine to be housed within this pistol grip, giving it a very, very compact profile, but a longer barrel length compared to other SMGs of the time. In fact, if we actually compare the Uzi to an MP40 over here, we can see that the Uzi has round about the same length of barrel as the MP40, but at almost half the bloody size, which makes it extremely, extremely innovative and modern for its time. So yeah, the Uzi's externals are unsurprisingly absolutely stunning, as one would expect from a company like Northeast. But how does it shoot? Let's head to the range and find out, shall we?
Chrono test, 0.2 gram BBs, green gas.
And now for the accuracy test. I'm here shooting at a target 15 meters away because let's face it, this is a submachine gun, so we're more expected to use it in shorter ranges. Now I'll be shooting at it from a standing, supported position. So let's check it out, shall we? This is gonna be awkward. All right, range is hot, safety's off, let's go. Right. Well, quite interesting. Feeling-wise, this gun feels absolutely fantastic to shoot. Accuracy-wise, some of the shots seem to go off to the top right. I can't really see it very well from here. And that probably has more to do with the sights that are probably misaligned. Full disclosure, during these tests, we do adjust the hop up before firing, but not the sights. So the sights are stock. It's going to be interesting. Let's go over and find out. All right, wow, okay, yeah. You know what I was saying about the sights were slightly misaligned? This is what I'm talking about. That being said, it's not the target that matters, it's the grouping. So let's do a little grouping diagram here. Ooh, these two seem to be flyers, but I'll include them anyway. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That might be a 10 because it's right on the other one. But overall, the accuracy seems pretty good actually. The sights are adjustable, though they do take quite a bit of effort. So if the sights were adjusted properly, this would be a very, very skirmishable gun. I'm actually quite impressed, even if the actual grouping is way off the target. So, now that we know it shoots accurately, what else can we do with it, shall we?
So, what's better than 1 GBB Uzis? 2 GBB Uzis. So I'm going to talk about my feeling for the Uzi. I'll focus more on the semi-auto because full auto obviously is fun. All right, the trigger response is very snappy. It's quite nice, but it's hard for me to pinpoint because usually I'm used to triggers like M4 or Glock, which is curved. When you pull this, you feel the latch is kind of straight-ish. And it's snappy, but hold on a second. Let me try something. Okay, now this is something you have to get used to. When you shoot any sort of platform, whether AR or even pistol, the reciprocate usually happens is the bolt or the slide moves back. Then you feel the impulse. I'm exaggerating a little. You'll feel the impulse go back and then down. Whereas this, because it's open bolt design, the reciprocation happens in front. So if you're too used to shooting an AR or pistol, instead of rocking back, you'll feel the initial sensation going forward first before moving back. So if you do it one-handed, it's more obvious. I deactivated bolt lock, that's why I'm still shooting, but yeah, the sensation is going forward. So that's something to take note of. But otherwise, as a fun gun, this is really fun to shoot. Back to studio.
So there we go. It's pretty obvious at this point that the Northeast MP2A1 Uzi is a knockout of a gun. Now, I know it seems like we sometimes skew positive when it comes to these sort of reviews, but that generally has more to do with the guns we choose to review in the first place. But just how much of a knockout is the Uzi? Let's rank the thing and find out, shall we? For fun factor, we give this a 5 out of 5 stars. Northeast Uzi kicks hard, shoots fast, and has a really nice immersive weight due to its steel, well, everything. Whether it's for airsoft, LARPing, or even as a movie prop, this gun is a joy to hold, a joy to shoot, and you cannot go wrong with this. In terms of realism, this is frankly the easiest 5 out of 5 stars I've ever given. The gun is made of full steel. There are literally no external indications that this is an airsoft gun. It has full realistic Bundeswehr and IMI markings, and it even has a historically accurate lower rate of fire at around 800 rounds per minute, unlike the mini and micro Uzis. Now, what's more is that the Northeast Uzi's dimensions are so accurate. My friend AJ has already installed a real Uzi wooden stock and foregrip onto his Northeast Uzi just days after buying it. In short, there is no airsoft replica closer to the real thing than this gun, full stop. And it has really set a new standard for realism for all other airsoft brands to follow. On performance, we give the Northeast Uzi a more modest 4 out of 5 stars. It shoots hard, it shoots fast, and it shoots pretty accurately. However, we have noticed that the Uzi's magazines do suffer from the occasional feeding issue, and we believe that applying silicone oil directly to the follower could help alleviate it. Now on build quality, come on guys, look at it. It's full steel, about as solid as physically possible, and every single centimeter of this detail is faithfully recreated. It's an obvious 5 out of 5 stars here for the Northeast Uzi. Now value-wise, at $449, this is a pretty pricey gun by most standards. However, in terms of the sheer quality and unprecedented realism you're getting with this gun, you are getting an exceptional amount of value for your cash, especially when there are so many more guns out there that cost more but offer less. So we're going to give this a 4.5 stars out of 5 in terms of value. Collectability wise, the Northeast Uzi is an easy 5 out of 5 stars. It's literally the only full metal GBB Airsoft Uzi ever made. And now that the Northeast STEN has been discontinued, we now know that this Uzi is only going to be having a very limited production run. Anyone who buys this or future variants will have a unique and possibly irreplaceable piece of airsoft history by getting one of these things. Overall, this means that we're going to give the Northeast Uzi our first 5 out of 5 stars. Everything from the full steel of its construction, the insane attention to detail, the historical accuracy, and the shooting performance combines together to make this one hell of a gun. Now, we do have to inform you that we have heard a few reports of feeding issues and magazine leakages, but in the case of this particular gun, it's damn near perfect. So congratulations to Northeast for setting the bar even higher for everyone to follow. So what's next? Well, Northeast ended up releasing 7 different versions of their previous gun, the Northeast STEN. So it's pretty obvious by now we're going to see more versions of the Uzi. Now, what versions will they be? Will it be the Mini Uzi? The Micro Uzi? The IDF pattern? Maybe even the Rhodesian? Who knows? But I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to see what Northeast comes up with next. So stay tuned to find out. So let's hand it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on the Northeast MP2A1 Uzi? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And for these cool products and many more, visit us at www.redwolfairsoft.com. This is Andrew, _Flood, out.